This is how we build B2B funnels, and more specifically, B2B outbound funnels to book 20 plus qualified sales calls per month. And so if you want us to build and run your B2B outbound motion completely done for you, and all you have to do is just talk with us every 2 weeks and take the sales calls that we generate for you, this video is for you. And so if you're only growing through network, referrals, and word of mouth right now, or you don't really have a consistent lead generation system, or for some people, they've tried outbound and it hasn't really worked, or it's worked a little bit and they're ready to scale it. But overall, just if you're looking to grow your business, get more sales calls, and just get more clients, then this is the system for you. So who this doesn't work for is B2C offers, so business to consumer offers, or if you don't have clients and you're looking to get your first clients, then this probably isn't the right fit for you. But if you have a B2B offer, a business to business offer, and you have a medium to high ticket price on your offer, so that's minimum $3,000 in lifetime value for a client or a customer, usually minimum $500 a month if it's retainer clients, ideally a couple grand or more a month in retainers, the higher the better in most cases, and then target addressable market of over 30,000 prospects that we can reach out to, ideally 50,000 plus prospects. And so how does it work? Well, there's 5 main components. There's the infrastructure, the targeting, and the copywriting that we use to do the cold outbound to generate interested leads. And then we have our lead to booking processes, and then our booking to show processes to go from cold lead to qualified and showed calls. So to start, for the infrastructure, we send cold email dominant outbound with a bit of LinkedIn as a supplement to the email. And so this whole system that we're building is to be able to send high volume cold email with good deliverability, which means the percentage of emails that land in the main inbox versus the spam folders. So that's why we can't just get one email account and send like a couple thousand emails a day from it. So we're usually sending 2,000 to 3,000 emails a day per client. And how we do this is we get a ton of different domains that are similar to your main business domain. And then we create multiple inboxes per domain to send from. And so if we're sending 2,000 to 3,000 emails a day, we'll get 4,000 to 6,000 emails a day in daily sending volume of inboxes that will only send from half and have the other half warming up, which increases deliverability so that if batch B is underperforming, we can rotate in batch A. And so the main metric that we track for performance of deliverability is reply rate. It's one of the most accurate ways of testing it. And so we don't track aggregate reply rate of all the inboxes, but we actually track individual domain and inbox level reply rate. So if even a couple accounts are underperforming, we can rotate in just a few inboxes and then keep the rest of the performing ones in campaigns. And then if we have a high volume of underperforming inboxes, then we'll batch rotate in the full new batch and then buy new infrastructure to have more inboxes in reserve to ensure that we always have good deliverability. And then on the LinkedIn side, we'll get LinkedIn alt accounts, which are real people, US-based, 500 plus connections that we're hiring into your business as like SDRs or a different job title, and then adding all of your business info on LinkedIn, and then we'll run outreach from those accounts. Or mainly what we'll do is just we'll use those accounts on the lead to booking side so that whenever there's an interested lead, we can connect with them on LinkedIn as well as do email follow-ups to ensure that they book it. So that's the full infrastructure process. It's quite technical, but there's a ton of email inboxes, and then there's LinkedIn reseller accounts. Sometimes we just do email, sometimes we just do LinkedIn. A lot of the time we do both, and that's the full infrastructure. So once we built that out, the next is the targeting, which is building the lead list. And so there's 3 main sources that we pull from. The first one is LinkedIn based, which is probably the one you're most familiar with, which is Apollo or Sales Navigator or Zoom Info leads that we can get targeted job titles, industry, company size, employee count filters. And so there's many campaigns that can perform with LinkedIn based leads, but a lot of the time we'll also pull from other sources. And so the second source we pull from is Maps-based leads, which is Google Maps-based. So we're pulling public information from Google Maps. And so these leads are usually reached out to less, which gives a higher reply rate. And for many industries, there's not many people emailing them. You can find more niche sources. And so these usually perform very well targeting SMBs and smaller headcount businesses. And then the third source, which is the best source, but also the hardest one to pull from, is custom scraped. And so if there's any public database or directory or just community where your leads hang out and they have their information publicly available, then we can scrape that information, let's say from Twitter or from a directory or from some sort of listing. We can pull the contact information from there, which usually has specific data points that we can leverage, and also just higher intent leads depending on where we pull them from. And so that's an amazing source if we're able to find a database to pull from. So the 3 main databases, custom scraped, LinkedIn based, and Maps based. They all work great, just depending on the case. After we pull the lead list, we filter them to make sure that they're qualified leads and to make sure that they're part of your actual target addressable market. And then once we filter them, we verify them to make sure that it's a real business still, it's a real email, and that they're not retired. It's like an active email that people are still using day to day, so they can actually reply to our email. Then after we filter them and verify them, sometimes we'll enrich them for specific campaigns to get extra data points or an enrichment to put into our sequencing, and that is how we build our lead list. So custom scrape, LinkedIn-based, maps-based, we filter, verify, enrich, and then we have our lead list. And then next is the copywriting. And for this, we're trying to bridge the gap between our knowledge of B2B outbound and your knowledge of your offer and your market to make sure that there's a smaller gap there and that we can represent your business just as well as you could over the outbound. So one of the best sources to get this information is your sales call transcripts, where you can see live feedback of the type of questions and outcomes that your prospect asks and want. Next is the strategy call transcripts, where it's a call of me talking to you, deep diving into your target market and your offer. And we also build a client document that we reference every time for the campaign scripting to make sure that everything's aligned and we're representing you properly. And then we have training documents about different scripting tactics that work, follow-up tactics that work, etc. And we also run tests during the outbound to get more feedback from the market that we can use in our scripting. And so we review all this information, and this is how we create our campaign iterations, which are different campaign split tests to get more data and also to drive results. So that's how we build our scripts, which is our copy. And so once the copy's done, we already have the infrastructure and we have the lists. That's how we run the cold outbound. So we have the lead list, which is the people that we're sending to, the infrastructure, which is what we're sending from, and the copy, which is what we're sending. We put those all into our campaign, which is our sequencer, and then we run cold outbound with that system over email and over LinkedIn to generate interested leads. Then, once we have interested leads, it's essential that we have a proper lead to booking system in place to maximize every single lead that we put so much effort into getting. And so up here we have our cold outbound, which is the full process that I just outlined. And we do that to get the interested leads. Then once it's an interested leads, we build you a custom AI setter that has a custom knowledge base on your business. So it's just like a hire of your business, and it understands the different offers that you pitch, what you can and can't do, and can represent your business properly. And so whenever a lead comes in, it pushes that lead to your CRM to track the status of if it's interested, book, or if it's in between. And then it pings a Slack channel with the lead's phone number, intent, and info. So if it's a whale, if it's a minnow, if they're asking for a call, if they're just asking for more information. And then it'll either give an immediate reply to the lead, or we can do a template reply in the Slack where it says, this is what I was going to send. You can either approve it, edit it, and then send it, or reject it and then handle the reply yourself. Usually it's good just replying to leads automatically. And then it'll also do automated follow-ups over email, usually 5 to 7 times for an interested lead to try to convert them into a booked call if they haven't booked. And if they ever do book, then it'll just stop the automatic follow-ups. And so this is the whole system that we build out. If you have an SDR, this should maximize the output of your SDR as well, so that now they don't have to worry about email replies or follow-ups or putting leads into the CRM. All they do is check Slack. They can reply to whales if we're on the template reply just to maximize those leads, maybe getting custom resources, etc. Maybe give a LinkedIn connection to the interested leads. And then really the most important part, they call the leads. And so if you have an SDR that can call the leads within 5 minutes of them replying, that significantly increases the booking rate of the leads. And so it could literally double the output of the whole outbound just by calling the leads. And so we put that phone number in the Slack for you, and they'll get a notification. All they have to do is call the lead. It will significantly increase the metrics if you have an SDR. So that's our full lead to booking process, from an interested lead to a booked call. After they book, or as they're booking actually, there's a calendar form that usually just asks them a couple questions to make sure they're a qualified lead and that's worth even talking to them. And then after they submit the booking, it redirects them to a post-booking page with a video saying reply yes to confirm your call at the top, just in big bold letters, and then a post-booking page video that's just a deeper outline of your service, what you do, how you can help them to sell them even more and get warmer leads on the call that are more qualified. Then we recommend a pre-call sequence with SMS and email to ensure that they know when the call is, to get reminders, maybe some custom resources just to sell them even more. And that should generate a showed call. And if they no-show, then we put them into another sequence that keeps on reminding them and tries to get them to book again. So that is the complete process of how we get a cold lead all the way to a showed call. And so just to make it clear, we do the full process of cold to interested lead, completely done for you. You don't have to worry about it. All you do is just hop on a call to talk strategy. Then for interested lead to booked call, that's also completely done for you. But if you have a setter that can call the leads, that is a huge additional boost that you can add if you have that on your team. If not, no worries, we can still get great metrics. And then the book to showed call, that's a done with you. Usually people already have this system in place. And if you want some help making the post-booking page or the post-booking video, we can assist you with that, but that's on your end. And so If you like that process, there's a short form below where you can book a call directly with me, where I'll just ask you a couple questions about your offer, your targeting, and fill in any of the gaps you may not understand about this process. And to be completely honest, the number one driving factor results for this whole system is just, do you have a strong offer and does it fit well with your target market? And so on the call, we'll just look into, is that the case or is it not? Is it a fit? Or if it's not, then I can direct you to some of our free training resources and help you get started yourself. So fill out that form below and I'll talk to you soon.